What's up everyone, welcome to another camera comparison video. Today I have this iPhone 12 and Redmi K30 Ultra. Okay, straightforward, I can see that there are two differences. Yeah, a lot of differences actually. iPhone 12 have wider field of view, skin tone, color grading, color rendition, everything is better on iPhone 12. There is some kind of skin smoothing effect on Redmi K30 Ultra. Okay, I don't know which one sounds better, which microphone is working better. So try to listen carefully and then let me know in the comment section below which microphone actually worked better. Also, which camera do you like? I mean the selfie camera, which one is working better? Okay, one important thing for all of you. I mean there is an international smartphone giveaway going on for the subscribers to this channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to this channel, and what you have to do is to just make comments. I will pick the winner based on my affinity toward any comment. I mean, if you make a great comment, okay, maybe you will be the lucky one. I don't want to waste any more time, so let's flip to rear cameras and let's start our camera comparison. But before that, if you end up liking this video, please don't forget to click on the like button and subscribe to this channel. Let's start with bokeh photos cause this is interesting. Both of these two depends on the main sensor for portrait photos as there is no telephoto lens. When I compare portrait photos, I care about bokeh effect, edge detection, amount of textures processed in the subject, and the separation line. After checking a lot of portrait photos taken by these two smartphones, it is clear that there is a difference in white balance, saturation, and details. Both iPhone 12 and Redmi K30 Ultra slightly saturates the color. It's nothing surprising that iPhone 12 white balance is a bit warm. What's surprising is edge detection and bokeh effect is similar on both of the smartphones. At a glance, Redmi K30 Ultra bokeh or portrait photos are even more lucrative. Most of the time, we do not need to do nitpicking like this, and most of the people do not do any pixel peeping. I mean, how many of you actually crop in and check quality of every picture that you take? I really don't think most of the people do that. Anyway, after cropping in, it is clear that iPhone 12 is way ahead. K30 Ultra image is very soft, K30 Ultra produced images with less details, processed less textures, and autofocus is not as good as iPhone 12. I always mention in my all camera comparison videos, and yes, a lot depends on personal preferences, and this will be a preference thing for sure. It depends on what you prefer. Like Samara, the model in these pictures, she feels like she looks better in the images grabbed by iPhone 12. I think this time I have very less to argue about. Okay, you may have been waiting for this comparison between photos taken with the main sensors of these two smartphones. All of these pictures were taken on auto mode with AI enabled and auto HDR. Of course, both of these have pro modes, so if you have the time to dial in and switch between options to get a pro shot of your choice, then you can. But most of the general users uses the auto mode, and I feel like this represents true pros and cons of the smartphones. 12 megapixel sensor on iPhone 12 versus 64 megapixel sensor on Redmi K30 Ultra. Actually, the numbers didn't reflect in performance. The main difference is in white balance, and before you make any judgment, K30 Ultra color temperature is actually neither warm nor cool. It's almost on the perfect line, and along with good exposure, the whole image stands out. Definitely, it's one of the best in its price range. iPhone 12 rendered colors with a bit saturation, which makes things punchier and lucrative. It's more like social media ready. iPhone 12 white balance is a bit warm than Redmi K30 Ultra, but it's not like very warm, it's nothing drastic. When I have compared iPhone 12 photos with Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro, there was a drastic difference in white balance, but Redmi K30 Ultra color temperature is not that cool like Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro. Like many other Xiaomi and Redmi smartphones, even if white balance and color rendition looks better on Redmi K30 Ultra, skin tone is not true to life. Now, the most important part for me is details and shadows, cause while editing, you cannot add details. In terms of details, iPhone 12 is slightly ahead. It even processed more textures with sharpness. But I need to mention once again, You need to do crazy nitpicking and heavy cropping to understand the differences. Yeah, we all know. A lot depends on personal preference, and I wanna know what do you prefer. Don't forget to leave a comment and let's share your preferences. The first thing you would notice in ultra-wide photos is field of view. FOV is wider on iPhone 12, and then you would notice that in terms of white balance, it's very difficult to differentiate between these two. Yes, Redmi K30 ultra-wide photos sometimes under different lighting condition have this wild warm tone, which is even worse than iPhone 12. iPhone 12 actually is not like other flagships. In my other camera comparison, it almost beaten Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra, and truly it's difficult for Redmi K30 Ultra to keep up and fight with iPhone 12 in ultra-wide photos. Details, dynamic range, color rendition, skin tone, almost in every segment iPhone 12 is ahead than Redmi K30 Ultra. But wait, don't start to bash Redmi K30 Ultra, cause contrast ratio and ambience is better on Redmi K30 Ultra. Yes, sometimes highlights is too high and that leads to overexposure. And if you have started to think iPhone 12 camera performance is not as good as a flagship, then look at this. Now you can take night mode long exposure photos with ultra wide lens on iPhone 12. And diffusion is also available. Altogether, iPhone 12 produces very good night mode photos, no matter whether you are using main sensor or ultra wide lens. Yes, as usual, the colors are a bit saturated on iPhone 12, but look at the sky. How many stars can you count? In ultra-wide photos, the difference is even bigger. I mean nighttime low-light photos. Picture on the left, yeah, I can see the stars, and picture on the right, full of noise and grains, less details, overexposed, soft, and overall incomparable. Now, if you consider the price, I would say without hesitation that Redmi K30 Ultra did way better than any other smartphones within its price segment. But overall, iPhone 12 is better for sure. These videos were recorded at 1080p 30 frames per second. iPhone being an iPhone always offers better stabilization. Redmi K30 Ultra without optical image stabilization did its best, but I have never thought that K30 Ultra would put up a fight. With more details in the shadows, good exposure and ambience, of course iPhone 12 is better. Yes, I know white balance is an issue, but color grading issue is even bigger. Have you noticed that? I would say if you need great stabilization and superb details, then of course iPhone is better. If you need something great within budget, then Redmi K30 Ultra is even better. Okay, I'm not going to describe these selfie photos cause there is an international smartphone giveaway going on for subscribers. I would choose someone based on valid and descriptive comments. Why don't you try to differentiate between these selfie pictures and make a comment? Now it's time for 4K 30 frames per second, as Redmi K30 Ultra cannot record at 4K 60 frames per second. This is difficult because this is stability versus exposure, details versus color grading. iPhone 12 continued to reproduce video clips with great stability while Redmi K30 Ultra started to fall behind. I think it's time to wrap up this video. My verdict is clean and straight. If you can afford and if you are not an Apple fanboy, then go for Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra. If you cannot afford a flagship, then go for Redmi K30 Ultra. If that's not available in your country but you need a good camera smartphone, then consider Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro or Realme X7 Pro. Let me know what do you think. Also, if you have liked this video, then please don't forget to click on the like button and subscribe to this channel.